We are live again. God
We're
damn.
back. Technical difficulties caused by
Technic-
Chaco
Oh, fuck
and
you.
NVIDIA.
Nvidia
Bad
and Jank.
timing.
You can't blame
Yeah,
me for your stupidity.
I'll blame you and everyone else other than myself.
So, anyways, welcome viewers again. We are polar opposite. I'm Chaco. That's Justin. We talk about tech news, game news, and anything else that interests us. This is our second stream, so we are pretty. What's the word? Shitty.
You
But that's
juvenile.
juvenile. That's a very good way to describe us. But that is why I call this the jank.
This
Even
is
though
not the jank. We ended the
even
last episode discussing that. It's not the jank.
I'm gonna call it the jank until
It's
I
not the jank.
stop doing this.
Yeah, it's hopefully by next week because there's no jank.
No. So, anyways, how was your day today? Was it good?
It was good. Ashley got an allergic reaction today, so I got to leave work an hour early
Oh,
to
damn.
pick her up.
I got
She
a
looked
nice,
great.
I got a nice
Beautiful as always, babe.
red line. I wonder if I can get rid of that.
But I mean, my day was average. I just went to work,
Ow! I
came
just
home,
smacked my elbow.
played Apex. Now we're here.
Nice, nice. No gym.
No gym. There was no time. Plus, Ashley wasn't feeling well, so
Oh, I was gonna move this camera. I never like where it is. I need a new spot for it. Well, that's fair. I
I'm
haven't
not
gone to the
crazy
gym.
about where my camera's at now.
Your camera's good. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I haven't gone to the gym in a while. I want to go to the gym. I
We
gotta
just
go to
started
the
going
gym.
back last weekend.
Yeah, I've been off for like a month and a half now. It's terrible.
Yeah, you can tell. You're
So
getting fat.
I'm not even getting fat. I'm getting skinny. I'm pretty sure I'm like 170 pounds now.
That's disgusting, dude. I weigh so much more than you do.
I kind of miss my days when I was 200 pounds, in all honesty.
When I was lifting, I was a little over 220.
Nice. Fattest I ever was 210.
Uh,
It was a
yeah,
good
the
time.
heaviest I ever was. I wasn't even fat though. The heaviest I was a little bit over 220. I think the skinniest I was at like this like height was around 160 2 years ago. But all right, into the show.
Into the show. So, looks like you are probably gonna be the one to start.
Yeah, we'll just do a little bit of alternating here. I guess the first thing we're going to go ahead and talk about is the upcoming Battlefield 5 update that's supposed to release. Actually, it looks like it released yesterday. My apologies. Released yesterday, Battlefield 5 update. Huge update for those of us who have ray tracing. So anyone who has the RTX cards, which isn't very many people.
Yeah.
So that
Which
select few that decided to shell out all that extra money, like me, Battlefield just came out with a patch that's going to improve ray tracing as well as DLSS. It's going to make it used a lot more in the game. So hopefully you're going to get some more performance boost off of that. Essentially, the whole point of it, from what I gathered, was, as everyone knows, ray tracing is pretty ass right now if you're playing on anything other than like 1080p. You're getting like 2 frames, so not two, but fucking bad. So those
yeah.
of you who have like 4K monitors and like what is it, QHD?
Yeah, I
Those of
think
you who
so.
have like the higher end resolutions and monitors, you're gonna go ahead and get a lot more frames while actually using ray tracing now, because they're actually going to be using DLSS a lot more than it was before this patch. And funny enough, that what crashed our stream like 5 minutes ago was me downloading the NVIDIA driver updates to go ahead and go along with this Battlefield 5 update. And also wanted to touch on Metro Exodus comes out Friday, 15th. It's going to have some ray tracing involved in that game too. I was taking a look at some videos today while I was on my lunch break at work. Looked pretty dope. I mean, it was ray tracing. I'm less amazed by it every day that goes by, but I
Yeah.
still think it looks pretty cool. The fact that they're putting it in a game, again, another one. Hopefully, and Metro, the graphics look pretty fucking dope too. So
That's that's
excited to play it. I'm gonna buy it Friday.
is that the one that they moved to? I think it was Epic Store.
Yeah, it's an Epic Store only launch. Yep.
Oh, that one's received a lot of flack. But I find it funny that a lot of people like, I think it was in Russian or something like that, that a lot of people were getting reading the news from, and what the guy said was that, um, oh, my mind blanked, but everybody was like misinterpreting and mistranslating what the guy was saying and making it seem like the guy was a fucking prick. Like the guy who was talking about why it's going to Epic.
Hmm.
And yeah, I remember it was like, oh my god, he's saying if we don't want to play the game, then too bad or something like that. But that's like not at all what it was. I kind of do want to play that game. Like I played one of the other Metro games, but I don't know.
I've never played any of them, and I started hearing some stuff like a month ago maybe about it coming out. It's supposed to be like really good, like open world to it. The graphics are supposed to be really good.
Hmm.
I don't know. I've never played it, so I don't really know exactly fully what it's about. So, but I'm gonna pre-order it, if anything, just to see what kind of frames are being put out right now with the ray tracing, since DLSS is supposed to be optimized for that game right now too. So maybe update next week, next Wednesday, give everyone an update on what frames I was seeing with ray tracing on
Mm-hmm.
out of that game for those of us who don't have it. So
Well, according to Steam, everybody.
according to Steam, yeah, we'll get into that as we go. But anything you want to talk about next, Chaka?
um, I don't know what you making me do my little bit now, or do you want to go in order?
I think we can just alternate every once, or else it's just gonna be like I talk for like 15 minutes
Well,
straight.
I'm not gonna lie. The things that I looked into, they literally like they're together. They all tie
Oh,
in together.
they're all tied in together. All
They
right. Well, then,
yeah, like if I
you know, we'll
broke it
jump
up,
into the next one for me then. Since
it
we're on there right now, we're gonna go straight into the Steam hardware survey that came out this week.
yeah.
Pretty much every month, Steam does a hardware survey for those of us who choose to go ahead and take it.
Mm.
Just kind of just asking what we're using right now, just to get like an idea. And this month was kind of interesting, and I thought it was really interesting based on what we talked about last week for those of us who watched it, which is probably nobody. But I thought it was interesting because they went in to talk about how NVIDIA has 75% of the graphics cards, like they manufacture 75% of the graphics cards used by Steam players. But most of them aren't even like the newer ones, which is what we're seeing the problem with NVIDIA was anyways, is they have already a back order of older cards that they can't sell, and no one wants to even buy the newer cards. So that's causing an issue with them and pricing, and just an issue with them and general sales, which is causing the sell of their stock from one of the biggest God, what was the word I'm looking for? Um, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? One of the biggest shareholders sold their stock last week. It's a huge loss to them.
Oh, yeah, the Japanese
Yeah,
company.
that Japanese company that pulled out last week, and this all kind of interties together. I mean, you would think a company that has 75% of graphics cards off of being used for something as large as Steam compared to their biggest competitor, which is AMD, only having 15%. You would think they wouldn't be having these problems, but I mean, they're not selling any of their newer cards. For example, the RTX Vega card makes up 0.16% of the
Okay,
market
hold on.
right now.
What the fuck did you just say?
The RTX Vega cards.
Isn't Vega AMD?
Yes, that I'm getting. Yes, I'm getting there. Let me finish my sentence. You saw how I was tying this in. Okay.
Like what?
For example, the RTX Vega cards make up 0.16% of the market, but the brand new 2080 Ti cards only make up 0.15% of what's being used on Steam. So just to show you, like, or NVIDIA's brand new high-end graphics card, their top of the line that they've been pushing super hard, takes up a smaller portion of what's being used right now than AMD's, at this point, older card compared to the new Radeon 7. And it's taking up less of the market. Granted, it's only by zero point 0.1 or 0.01%, but that's still when you have 75% of the market share, that still is significant. That 0.01%, that shows a lot right there, that no one wants to buy your brand new card. No one wants to use it because it's probably overpriced.
Hmm.
So that's creating an issue there. And then the other thing is, apparently, according to Steam, historically, the 60 series of cards that NVIDIA sells has been the most popular among consumers that are actually using Steam. With the 2070 being the next, or I'm sorry, excuse me, the 70 series being the next popular after that. So the mid-range card seems to be where the sweet spot is, anyways. But I mean, even then, you would expect to see a little bit better sales coming from the like the 2070 and the 2060 models, which are their brand new ones. But the percent that they even have on the market right now is very minimal, whereas the Pascal cards, the 1060 and the 1070, are still being used quite a bit. Like, the majority of the cards being used on Steam right now are Pascal 1060 and 1070 cards by a pretty large margin. So you would think that they would try to make a switch up to that. They're gonna have to do something soon, I imagine, to get people to let go of their older cards and start buying the newer ones,
Mm-hmm.
because they're either gonna have to wait until the next generation comes out in a year at best, or try to come up with a sale or some kind of idea. Because if no one wants to get rid of their older cards, how are they supposed to make any money in next year realistically? So I thought this Steam survey was pretty interesting because it goes and ties into already the issues we spoke about, like I mentioned, with the fact that Nvidia is just having trouble selling anything right now. Everyone doesn't want to buy the newest shit, whether it's because of cost or maybe it's just there's no need. The Pascal cards were really good as it was.
Yeah.
I mean, especially a lot of people don't have the 4K monitors because that's expensive as it is. Like
Yeah.
if you can run 1080p perfectly fine with the card you have, why are you going to shell out another $600 or $400 to buy a brand new card? It doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
maybe they have to switch something up. Maybe that's what forced them to kind of make FreeSync available now. So maybe try to get some people to try to get the newer cards. They can also save money by not having to buy the separate monitor. Maybe that's their thought process on that. Probably loosen some purses a little bit moving forward. But I just think it's really interesting the fact that NVIDIA has dug himself into kind of this hole here where there's not really an easy way out. Their flagship stuff isn't selling, and they can't even get rid of the older stock anymore because it's the older stock. So what do you do? Um, Another interesting article that I found this week was this company named Supermicro is coming out with a motherboard or planning to unleash some motherboards upon the world, but they haven't actually really started making any progress. They're speculating though that they'd like to do DDR5 memory on it, which would be super cool. And in an interview, the CEO was talking about making some changes to PCI Express as well,
Hmm. Like
which
going
could
with
be
like
interesting to see that.
4.0?
Yeah, I think so. They didn't really define in any of the articles I read exactly what he meant by changes to PCI Express.
Okay.
They didn't go into much detail, but they are planning on making some changes. So seeing how that actually goes up could be very interesting in the future. Um, they're it's kind of weird though because I mean right now I believe Gigabyte just announced this week they're laying off what 8 or 10% of their labor right now.
I think I read something about it. I don't.
Yeah, and even Asus has announced they're like having struggling sales. A lot of people aren't buying motherboards. It's been on decline since 2016, if I remember correctly. So I feel like now is kind of a weird time to jump into the motherboard market. I mean, that's my opinion because just even the people who do it and do it well are having a hard time selling anything right now.
Which kind of actually makes sense. I mean, if you
It's
if you think about AMD side, I don't know so much about Intel. That's why I'm always Team Red. What's up?
yeah,
But I mean, it kind of makes sense that a lot of board manufacturers are not selling motherboards so much, AMD ones anyways,
yeah,
because AMD hasn't changed their socket. It's been AM4 for the last, I think, maybe I'm wrong, we're going like 2 years now, and the chipsets are really not huge jumps.
yeah,
Um, it's kind of been like they're faster, and everything like that. I mean, like going from say like B350 to B450, the performance jump is not huge. I mean, if anything, if you're gonna do that upgrade, I think maybe I'm missing something here. Someone could tell me that I'm missing it, but like from what I understand, like it's not really worth the dollar. I mean, it's more of like, oh, I've got a 450. Good for you, you know. Like I'm running a 350, and I mean, just whatever. So the thing is, like, the last couple of years, AMD motherboard, anyway, like chipset and everything, it hasn't changed. So there's really
yeah,
no need for people to change it or to go buy a new one, unless you want one that has like built-in Wi-Fi, or you decided to run a dual GPU, or four PCI Express slots are going to be handy. I don't know, like sorry, not
yeah.
PCI,
At this point, it's like a niche market. At this point,
DIMM
not a lot
slots
of
is
people
what I
want it.
meant. Yeah, like it makes sense to me that why they're not selling a lot of AMD. So, but I mean, in all honesty, no, for Supermicro to jump in with DDR5, to make a board with DDR5 and potentially, PCIe 4, that kind of actually does make sense because it's different. It's something new.
Well,
It's
see,
not.
what I my issue with those is like they're speculating that they can do this, so not actually going out and saying like we have a board capable of doing this. They're saying we want to try to produce something that can do this, which is fine, but that's still quite a bit off from everything I was reading. It's not like it's going to be a very immediate thing, which who's to say AMD is not producing boards like this, Gigabyte, MSI, all these other major manufacturers who have already their foot in the door and the money to back it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like for them, like I could be wrong. It could be one of two things. Like the market's bad right now, which means they can enter with something like good like this DDR5 and PCI Express upgrades, and that could be their key in because everyone else is down right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this would be a good time to enter. People are looking for something different because they're obviously don't want to buy what's out there right now. So that could be
Yeah.
their end. But my other point could be all these people who have all this resources invested in getting these sales and making this technology aren't even getting the return that they would like to see. So I'm a little bit skeptical to see a new company go in there and see any kind of a profit, I want to say essentially. And two, like, I don't know Supermicro as a brand. I don't know if you do. I've
Yeah.
never bought
I
anything related to
You
them.
never would.
Exactly. So to me, it feel like it'd be weird, like for me to go to the store if I see like a brand new like Asus ROG or like a Gigabyte board, Gigabyte Aorus board, and see like a Super Micro one next to it.
Yeah.
Probably going to disregard the Super Micro one. You know what I mean? Just because you go with the brand you're used to, you go with what you know, what you've seen reviewed, what you've had before.
Yeah. No,
So I feel like that's also going to play an impact unless they have something like I feel like if they're going to do this, they definitely have to stick something brand new and different like DDR5 before everyone else, or at least towards the front of the pack.
hmm.
Maybe not first, but one of the first.
Yeah.
Same thing with the PCI Express changes because if they come in last, it's just going to be you are this. It's going to be like it's going to end up being like the Walmart brand, almost like the cheap. You get it if that's what you can afford, but it's not. It's not the one that you're going to go with
Well,
based off of experience.
actually, it is the brand I would go with. See, the
Yeah,
interesting thing is Supermicro is actually a huge brand for servers. That's what they.
yeah.
That's what Supermicro does. They do servers, server boards. And actually, knowing that was gonna lead into some questions for you. Did it mention anything about like, are they doing? Did it mention at all ECC memory?
No, they did not. What they did mention though is they were planning on making some upgrades to SATA. I don't know exactly what it was. They were planning on making some upgrades to SATA. Oh, you're moving my head around. I don't like it.
Yeah, for some reason it just like adjusted, and I was kind of like, oh, what the fuck?
But they said they were planning on making some upgrades to SATA and maybe some just general memory upgrades across the board
Hmm.
to try to make it the boards again a little more forward than what we have right now. But the problem I kind of had with the articles I could find was everything was really vague from all the interviews it seemed they've been doing on these.
Oh.
The most they ever went and speculated was they're trying to do DDR5. That was the most blunt they put anything out there. Other than that, it was very vague as to changes to PCI or changes to memory and changes to shit like that.
Yeah.
So that leaves a lot of wiggle room for them. So if they don't necessarily stick the landing for something, they could just kind of say, well, this was the minor change or something like that. They didn't promise a lot, which I guess leaves them in a good spot, but it leaves you wondering what exactly they could mean by this. Because I don't know. I mean, if it comes out to be good, if you're right, I've never heard of that company because obviously I don't do anything with servers. But I mean, if they can go ahead and make a nice board and make something quality that's better than what is going to be out, hands down, I guess buy it. And, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just gotta provide some kind of something to the market that makes it even worth buying a board that's worth it. Because I feel like jumping from servers to just making overclockable gaming motherboards that at this course in 2018 also has to have the aesthetics to it.
Yeah. See.
Functionality isn't everything anymore. You have to have functionality and aesthetics, and people are going to want that. Even if you have DDR5 and PCI Express, a lot of people who are going to buy this shit, especially like the lower end stuff,
Hmm.
aren't necessarily buying it because of the tech specs. They're buying it because, oh, this has Aura Sync. Like, oh, this has all these RGB on it. Oh, this is nice. This has these really nice metal heat sinks. Like, blah blah blah. They don't really care about what it's doing or what it's capable of doing or how high or hard you can push it. They care about how it looks when you press the power button.
Hmm.
So just not even from a hardware standpoint, it has to look good aesthetically.
Yeah. This is definitely something I wanna follow and look into the Supermicro Super Mobo, as I put it, or maybe you did. I don't know who wrote that. Probably
Super
me.
Boba. That was 1,000,000% you.
More than likely. Because I'm actually totally interested. Because I mean, if they made a motherboard, I would hope that they try and get some sort of a. I don't want to call it gamers aesthetics, but
Yeah.
but definitely not the old green circuit board with just your transistors and capacitors and
Yeah.
everything spewed all over the place, and that's it. I want to see something that like looks decent, some color to like proper color to it, like a theme or nice heat sinks as you mentioned earlier on like VRMs and what have you.
Yeah.
So I do definitely want to follow this and continuously look into it. Maybe if there's more information brought up in the future, I'll definitely bring that up for sure.
Another thing they kind of thought of, they mentioned, which I think could make it the pricing competitive, from what I understand, is they're planning on doing everything in-house, whereas like
Hmm.
a lot of these other manufacturers outsource things to like China and through other companies to do the manufacturing process for them and
Yeah.
just kind of slap their brand on there. They're planning on doing everything in-house, which is how they're planning on keeping the price competitive because they don't really have to outsource anything to everyone to do it. And it's probably, I didn't know what they did before, but it's probably what you're saying is to do the server stuff. It's probably going to be because they already have all the technology capable of reducing that. They're probably going to be a pretty easy transition into producing something like a motherboard for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. And another thing is the company apparently has a lot of really good technology partners
Yeah.
they have really good relationships with. So they're planning on leveraging a lot of those to bring some of that newer technology to their boards. So seeing how one, the fact that it's in-house, and two, the partnerships they have, how they can kind of leverage those two things together to create a product could be
Oh,
could
hold on.
could meet something really good for them.
Quick shout out to Levi for playing Rainbow Six and not watching us, prick.
Yep. Sounds like Levi, an asshole. Talk to him like once a week at this point.
No kidding, he's been quiet.
So he's too busy.
Playing with his dick.
True.
Alright, so anything else you want to touch up on that Supermicro Super Mobile?
Nothing with that. I guess one shout out for the week would be something that I meant to do an article on this week. We'll be bringing it up next week for sure. The gaming laptop that's upgradable that just came out from Alienware. I believe it's called
Uh,
the Area 51 laptop. Um,
I don't know how I feel about that thing. Like,
I think it's cool in concept. I don't know how practical it's going to be, but I think it's cool to just see a laptop where next year, if I want a different CPU, I can plop one in there. Same thing with the graphics card. I'm not paying for something that's permanent, nothing soldered. Everything can be upgraded. I think that in concept is nice. I would like to see it kind of start like a more of a trend towards it. I still think you're gonna have the same problems as always, which is space and heat,
hmm.
because no one wants a giant laptop and no one wants a super fucking hot laptop. So I don't know. Hopefully, technology gets to the point where you can do that. But then, if it does, then you're probably not gonna have desktops anymore. So could be good, could be bad.
Truth.
But I think it's interesting for right now because I know a lot of people in gaming, laptops are a huge thing. People like to go out, they like to take stuff with them, especially in college. I don't know anyone in college who really had like gaming desktops. Everyone just had laptops because you were on the go so much it made zero sense.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a market for it. Hopefully, those who can actually use it and utilize it will. I still think personally it's a very interesting thing. So, more details on that, more tech specs on that next week when I have the time to look at it. My apologies for not getting to it this week. We switched our show day from Saturday to Wednesday, so
Yeah, I don't want to compete.
try to do a little bit of a quick show for you today.
I gotta figure out how to get your fucking camera size to maintain what it is.
Yes, you do.
I don't know why it was bouncing around, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, no, fuck that laptop. No, just kidding. No, it seems like a good concept, but I don't like what they're doing for GPUs. All right. So
Nothing.
yesterday on the 12th, Activision just had their fourth quarter 2018 what do they call it? Earnings call,
Mm-hmm.
which is always good news. Nice orange shirt.
Chocolate said nice one, sure, babe. Go Mets.
Gross. Just kidding. Alright, so I'm gonna start off, I guess, my blabbing. New phone, who dis? What topic is this, Met side? Yeah, Alex, you tell him. You tell him. See, I'll start off my section here with Activision begins massive layoffs, even though it's actually their best recorded year. Can you guys hear me? You're just cleaning your ears.
Here we go. My ear got itchy in this headphones. Excuse me.
Oh,
People know
God.
how it is. Everyone has headphones these days. Everyone knows when the itch happens. You gotta take them off.
All right. So I found this information on what is it? Kotaku and CNET. Uh, so it turns out that even though Activision had their best year ever yet, they still decide to lay people off. They're letting off about 8%, which is, I think it was about 775 people. Woo. But it's all actually people in, what did they call it? Non-game developing departments, such as esports and marketing. And their intention is to actually boost their staff by 20% in the game development section. So it makes me wonder, like, are they actually are they actually going to make quality games again? Are they going to have
Uh,
good quality content?
I don't know. I know this year wasn't a great year for Blizzard as it was.
Yeah.
Blizzard and Activision together. I'm not surprised though they laid off people in esports only because um, what is that game that they just deaded? Heroes of the Storm. They just deaded Heroes of the Storm. There's no longer a professional league.
Plasma just mentioned that.
Oh, bam, right there. You know what? See, it's not just me who thinks this then.
But
Shout out to Alex. Same
you
two
know
great people think alike.
this article is pretty stupid. Well, actually, the next article is pretty stupid. It's tied into the whole esports thing. Um,
Okay.
so what was it? Apparently, what they are doing is consolidating and restructuring because of missed expectations, and so they're going to actually be lowering their expectations in 2019. I mean, it's like, why is this your best year, but it's still lower than expectations?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
It's just I feel like I don't know necessarily about Activision, but I just feel like the partnership between Activision and Blizzard was no bueno.
no,
I
no
think
bueno.
Destiny 2 wasn't what people expected it to be.
No,
It
not
was
at all.
definitely better than the first one. I know just off of personal information I've gotten off of a person who wants to be modded right now, Alex, in the chat.
Good fucking right,
He's
Alex.
told me there's no point in really playing it unless you have the new DLC because that makes the game way better. It's no longer Alex, but it was, okay? Not Freedom, okay, whatever.
Whatever.
Um,
Go away, Alex.
so people weren't too happy with Destiny unless they got like the expansion pack for it, which just creates an
Forsaken.
issue to begin with. Forsaken, yeah. And for me personally, I played it. It was cool for like a couple days, and then I kind of got bored of it. But I play a lot of World of Warcraft, and from the Blizzard side, like, oh my God, playing that game,
Yeah.
like Legion was so much fun. I lost like a month of my life to that game,
Can we get
and
this Mets fan not running around and kicking shit over?
yeah, I don't know. She's gonna do what she's gonna do. But I
My
feel like
God.
I feel like this year's expansion, whatever the fuck it is, I don't even remember it anymore. I bought it. I bought it and paid for like 2 months of subscription. I don't remember what it's called. I just remember I got to the next level and I was like, okay, this has been cool for like 3 days and I'm over it now. Probably never gonna play this again. Maybe the next one does better. But I remember when I got to max level, I looked into it and the newest expansion. Forgive me for not remembering the name. Battle for Azeroth. They're having a hard time keeping subscribers with this one compared to where they kind of tipped off after Mists of Pandaria, kept going downhill, Warlords of Draenor, all that stuff happening.
Oh God.
And when they finally got to the previous one, I forgot the name already again. I'm having such an exhausting day. Um, when they got to Legion, they finally, for the first time in years, World of Warcraft actually started gaining new subscribers. And a lot of people who used to play back around Burning Crusade and Lich King when the game was super popular
It was super good.
came back and actually felt like the game was getting right back on its course. And hopefully the next expansion is going to be something to build on and continue, and the game is going to get good again for at least one or two expansions more. But God, I can tell you from right now, I've played it since like Burning Crusade. I just cannot fucking play that game anymore. It's so boring.
Oh,
It's nothing to do.
I know. I know. I didn't. I remember I bought the expansion pack. I don't even think I played it for a month.
Dude, you played it for like a week, and I wanted to keep playing with you. You're part of the reason I didn't enjoy it.
You're like, I need choco.
Partially your fault.
Well, I don't know. See, I just couldn't get into it. Like, dinosaurs are cool, I guess. Yeah, but I was for me. It was just no. It was no bueno, as you like to say all the time.
Bueno.
No bueno. But I mean, going back to the whole cost cutting and everything, Activision laying off. Um, oh, thanks for joining the stream there, Madison Esports. How's it going?
Oh, I played it for like a week. It's more than Chaco did.
Oh, it's Alex.
What the
Oh,
hell?
gross.
Who is Madison Esports?
Apparently, it's
What?
Alex.
I know it's Alex, but why isn't Madison Esports?
Uh,
Is that your backwater school, Madison?
his
Your
club.
club? Oh God.
Oh
You,
god, I thought you were a real person. Turns out you're still
yeah.
just another robot. So apparently, apparently, this whole cost cutting and everything, it was actually already reported that, it was like mandate back in fall 2018. They were
Mm.
saying that it was Blizzard's 2018 mandate to cut costs and make more games. But what confuses me is that Activision says that 2019 Blizzard's not making any major
Many
games.
games. Yeah, that's
Nothing.
honestly, I think they're just trying to cover for the fact that they
Everything's
just want to cut
crashed.
costs across the board right now. Honestly,
Uh,
they don't want to put anything out. I think we should try to follow it, see if they do actually advertise hiring that 20% extra game staff.
yeah.
Because I think at that point, if they do that, it's I feel bad for the people who lost their jobs. But obviously, 8% of
Oh
people,
well,
that's
actually,
a lot of people to lose their jobs. But
it's not entirely that bad. Because what happened? Let me see if I can find. I have a quote here. Blizzard President J. Allen Brack wrote a note to staff promising a comprehensive severance package, continued health benefits, career coaching, and job placement assistance, as well as profit-sharing bonuses from the previous year to those who were laid off at Blizzard.
oh,
Um,
that's not that bad then.
but I mean, Blizzard employees already do receive twice yearly bonuses based on how Blizzard did that year financially. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's not like they're just like, okay, away with you,
Oh,
you know. So they
away
they
with you.
I mean, it says yeah, they didn't just sit there and go, okay, bye, have a good life. They're actually like, hey, I know this sucks, but
Well, this
like here's some money and here's some help, and you're not going to be screwed.
See, but the thing is, that's not new though. The fact that they were giving those severance packages, they've been pushing that on their employees for kind of a little bit now. I remember reading that. I want to say like around November, October-ish.
Okay.
That a lot of the Blizzard employees are leaking that there's like offers going around the office that like if you leave now, we'll give you a severance package of like $5,000 or $10,000.
Oh.
And a lot of people said that they took it because that was more money than they were going to see in the next couple of months to begin with,
Oh.
and they were going to get paid for like the next 2 weeks, and they were going to get a little bit of money after, and like some extra benefits and stuff. And I remember reading about it, and people were like, "Oh yeah, we took it because it's the best opportunity we're going to get right now. Like we're kind of over this job anyways." We made a lot of money off of it, so I didn't expect it obviously to lead to like these hard layoffs, so just a flat 8%,
Yeah.
which that is good. They're giving them, all these extra benefits to go with it. Because you're right, most people just get shoot off. Here's like 2 weeks or a month, but then that's it. That's all you're going to get. You're not getting any health or anything like that. So it's good they're doing that. Definitely kudos to the people who are smart enough to just go ahead and take it off the bat, because they definitely
Well,
kind of made out with more, in my opinion.
maybe. I mean, I don't. It does. I couldn't find anything saying how much the severance was that they're getting from these people that were just laid off. But I mean, I wonder though, the people that took it before, did they get the career
I think
coaching and medical
no, I don't
continue?
think they got any of that, but I think
Yeah.
they got more of a lump sum money up front for
S-
leaving.
So did they
Excuse me.
really do better?
It depends on how you look at it. Depends on how
I
quickly they found
suppose.
another job.
So I
So,
suppose.
but I don't know. I think it could be. I think it could not be a bad thing. Mostly now, one, because I see that they did all these extra things, which is great, and two, if they do hire 20% more people just for their gaming, then that's 12% people in the long run more that had a job than what started with. So I
True.
mean, that's never a bad thing. It's like I said, I feel bad for those who wanted the job and lost it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hopefully they find something soon, but that's really good for those extra 12% of people who didn't have a job beforehand that are getting
Mhm.
hired now. So
Mhm.
hopefully they make
Absolutely.
the most of it and produce a game that's not trash.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Okay. So if you recall, I said that they were cutting off non-game developing staff that were departments that were esports and marketing. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, Activision confirms city-based Call of Duty League. If you ask me, now maybe I'm wrong. I've never played in a league or managed a league, but I'm pretty sure you need esports staff and you need marketing staff.
You need a lot of money to even start that.
So why did they why like why did they cut it? Um, so this information was actually leaked back mid-January by one of the team owners. Rest of the information I've got here, I got from Dexerdo.com and TwinGalaxies.com. I've actually never heard of both, but I mean they seem to be reporting the same thing as well as a bunch of other websites. But
Mm-hmm.
they all pretty much say the same kind of shenanigans. So on that yesterday's earnings call, Activision officially announced the franchised Call of Duty League. Teams will be city based, so I guess it's kind of like, I don't know, um, Overwatch, where it's, the cities. I don't know if it's international or if it's American. I haven't found any information on that yet. Maybe I need to look hard enough. Who knows? Um, Seem um, like currently they do have a league, but it's not franchised.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basically you and your team grind the shit and hope for the best
Yeah.
to make it into the tournament or whatever you call it. But now being under the franchise, they can just you're on the team and you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
which
I think it's good from different perspectives. I think it
yeah.
depends on who you are on it, though. I think. What is your opinion, Jocko? Before I tell you mine,
What, making a franchise?
on Call of Duty or doing on Activision doing this with Call of Duty right now? Because
It's.
I think.
I mean, I
Oh,
don't. We don't have all the details, right? We're just little people. We're not corporate people. But I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that they're cutting marketing in esports and then they're starting an esports league, a franchise esports league. I don't get it. I
yeah.
mean, they hired they made a position for somebody who basically helps organize all the tournaments and gets the teams ready and advertising and everything like that. And it's kind of like, what the hell? Um, I mean, a Call of Duty league, it does make sense to me to have it. I mean,
Hmm.
they've got a league for every fucking first person shooter. Um, CS:GO, Overwatch. What other first person shooters do people play these days? I don't know. I don't play a whole lot. Apex, but
Apex.
Apex, but I mean, it makes sense that they have the league. I don't know how I feel about the franchise. Oh my god, what is that dirty rodent? Dude,
That's
there's a
rude. First of all,
squirrel. It's
it's
a
not a
squirrel.
beautiful cat.
Let me go get my fucking polar bear. Where's my polar bear? I gotta take a picture. I'll send you a picture of my doggy later.
I'm good.
No, you're gonna love it. You'll be like, oh my
Mhm.
god, it's polar bear.
I don't want to see that shit. Continue.
So,
What are you talking about?
no, I was just saying that it does make sense that they're doing the esports, but it kind of comes at a weird time. Like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand the whole franchise thing because I mean that makes them money, but uh, it's just kind of weird. Maybe
I
this
don't
is
know.
part. Maybe this is part of their restructuring.
I think it's good and bad for different perspectives. Like I said before, I think it looks very weird. I don't think it's necessarily be great for Activision right now. Oh, don't
Mm-hmm.
blame me. Just because of the fact that they're laying off people in esports and shit like that, and now they're trying to expand it. The only thing I could say to cover their ass for this maybe is maybe they're using some of the resources they had that they were putting towards the Heroes of the Storm League, just transferring it with some cutbacks to staff straight over to the Call of Duty system.
I can see that.
Maybe they're doing something like that
Yeah.
that could make it a little more obvious to me as to why this is like an easy transition for them or the obvious next step for them in their eyes. I definitely think it's weird though because it takes a lot of money to start up something like that. Which if you're doing massive layoffs, I guess not necessarily massive, but 8% layoffs, like I look
775 people.
5 people. Yeah, that's just to go out and start doing something like this right after. That's going to cost you a lot of money up front. Isn't the greatest thing. I do think for the players and the organizations that are going to be involved in this, though, it's really, really good for the ones that make it
Yeah.
because there's no more uncertainty. A lot of people invest all these money into these teams and getting all these rosters and all these players to start playing in these tournaments just to hopefully make the world teams or the world leagues, even if it's just for like 1 year. They dump so much money into it, and you don't make it the next year, and your investment's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Or not necessarily gone, but you have to do like kind of a bye year where you're rebuilding and hope for the best again the next year where you can make it again and be on that top spotlight. And I know the reason I kind of feel this way is because watching League of Legends, it used to be up until the season that just ended, It used to be you make it into the league, you play for the entire year. If you're one of the worst two teams, you get relegated out. They pull up two new good teams and they play the entire year. But everyone who was in it before that did well gets to continue playing. But it always sucked being the bottom two orgs who spent all this time, all this money, and all this like effort trying to get here, and all you get pushed out for something new. So it's really good like for franchising the fact that stability. Maybe you're bad this year, but you swap a couple players out and you're not losing everything you've built. For the players, it's good too. Is if you end up being on the bad team, maybe one or two of you get swapped out, but not everyone's without a job. Not everyone's has to go find new teams.
Yeah.
Not everyone has to start over. So it could be good for them just to go ahead and have it. But for me, I think it's weird coming out of Activision right now to go ahead and do something like this. Also, I just feel like Call of Duty is not what it was, and
No,
at least to me, it's not. Like
I played
I don't even play that shit anymore.
I played like I've watched a couple of people play the game. And I mean it seems okay, but like they're just getting the whole getting super futuristic about everything. Like is it cool, but it's not. I don't know. It kind of to me I feel like it lost its way somewhere. It
No, it
just
definitely did. It started when they started running on fucking walls and shit. The last one I enjoyed was Modern Warfare 3. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to like I don't know. I could be wrong. Call me old fucking fashioned at 22 years old, but I don't want to fucking get shot from my ass. I don't want someone to be flying on a jetpack above me, running on the fucking wall over here. Like just fucking. I see you first. I shoot you first. Like let that just be the damn game. Like I don't want to do all this extra shit. It's too much.
I
It's
feel
too
yeah.
fucking much.
Something I wanted to add. You were saying in League of Legends, like if your team doesn't make it to the league, then you're SOL, right? Is that what I was
Yeah.
understanding? Okay.
It's a little. It used to be like that. Now the teams are set. It's franchise teams are set. Whoever's there now is there.
Yeah,
But the way it used
that's
to be was you would play through
you'd
like
basically
the
grind.
B League. Yeah, you'd play through the B League. You would win it, and then you would be promoted into the LCS, which was like the top tier. And whoever didn't perform that year in the LCS would be dropped down to the B League, and hopefully they'd be able to be good enough to make it back the next year,
Yeah.
which
Now
pretty much was never really the case.
now they have it so that if you they have it the same way as I guess league is now that if you're like the franchise teams are in the league, they are
Yeah,
in the Call of Duty World League.
yeah.
There's no fighting to try and get into that. It's you are in it.
Yeah, it's. I think that's nice once it's established for the players and organizations. I
Mm.
think it'd even be good for Activision if they weren't just laying off massive amounts of fucking people in the department that's supposed to be doing this right now.
Makes a lot of
It's just
sense.
it's weird, but and if it wasn't Call of Duty, I could also feel a little more to it. Maybe for something else, like I don't know, but I think it's good franchising for the orgs and the players, and I also feel this way too because it's a very popular team for anyone who used to watch League of Legends like a year or two ago. Immortals, their very last year, I believe they went almost undefeated. I think they just lost like TSM. I think one dropped maybe like one or two games to TSM. Didn't do too well in the playoffs. Went to Worlds, didn't do amazing, but they were still one of our best teams that year, like top three in North America. And for some reason, Riot Games decided not to let them franchise and booted them out, which is probably for money. Booted them out of franchising, and they went from being one of the top teams in the league to the next year, they're not even a team anymore. They lost all their players, they lost everything. They just got wiped out of LCS, that's devastating to, especially like an owner of the org who started his team in this video game and put his soul and his time into building this and finding all these players and paying all the staff, just to find out like, oh, we were one of the best teams, we're definitely going to be in the league. Just to no, sorry, you're not coming back next year. We picked some random guy who's never had a team in this game before to be taking your spot right now.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
like you did an all right job. You made it to Worlds last year. You were one of the top like 20 teams in the world, but still not good enough to be here for whatever reason. So to me, that stuck with me mostly because I remember watching the owner of the organization on YouTube,
Yeah.
his very last video, just thanking the fans, and he's a grown man crying because you could tell that everything he just built
Just demolished. It's
just
just
taken
run
from him, and
down.
it was nothing on his own. It was like he did what he had to do. He produced a great winning team, and they didn't care. They just kept going, and that could happen to anyone, which is why it's nice just to see the franchising of knowing that if someone's going to take the time to build something, it's not just going to be stripped for them like it's nothing. It's good to see that, especially for the players on the team too, who got all scattered, had to get new contracts and shit. Like it's too much.
Yeah, that is pretty trash. But I mean, it's Call of Duty, so who cares? They can
Yeah,
grind.
no, sure. Who cares about Call of Duty? But watch
But
the real esports. Go watch the league on the weekends, dude. Bjergsen, even though TSM sucks dick this year, but we'll get him.
The only reason I brought up the whole Call of Duty League was because it tied into the whole layoffs, and it's like, what? What is going on here? I don't get it.
Ridiculous. It's just trying to fucking sweep this under the rug and make a quick buck.
No shit. All right. Anything else to add about the whole layoffs or league or no new games from Blizzard, which is bullshit
Redu-
because I think we're all waiting for the new Diablo.
I'm
Not that
not.
not that
Definitely
phone
Diablo.
one, but I like Diablo. I mean, I played the first Diablo a little bit. I played the second one a lot. Like a fuck ton. The third one, I played it a bit. I won't say I finished it. I never finished it, but I played it a bit, and I mean, it was a good time. It was a lot. It felt like Diablo, but a little different. Like it felt like Diablo
Mhm.
2, but a little different. But I mean, I still enjoyed it. But I mean, I know that a lot of people are waiting for I
Diablo
think it's
4.
like Diablo 4, because Diablo 3's been out for quite a while now. I mean, it's not
Diablo
as
3's been out since
yeah
God forever.
yeah, but I mean,
No,
it's
years.
still not as long as the time frame between Diablo 2's release and Diablo 3's release. It's nowhere near that. But I mean, yeah, Diablo 3's been out for quite a while. But still, Diablo
I'm ready
Diablo
for some more
4.
StarCraft games. Get me with the StarCraft.
Oh god, no, I think StarCraft 2 is doing well enough that they're not gonna build a new one yet.
They need to just come out with like another expansion or something.
They need to. I don't know. They got to do something. Um. Well, okay. Let's move off of EA. I think that's really it for
Or
um.
move on to EA. You mean
Move off of EA. No more EA. Or yeah, it's not EA.
move off of Activision
Move
onto
move.
EA?
Yeah, because EA is somehow better. I mean, it is, but it isn't. They're both kind of like companies.
And no, definitely right now. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy Anthem's out. Don't get me wrong, but it probably was weird timing on that one.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, that leads us to this next topic I just wanted to talk about. It's not a news article, but it's just kind of like a weird topic that I want to talk about. Is why are they shooting themselves in the foot? I think they are, in my opinion. I mean, February 4th. Hey guys, here's Anthem. Sweet. And then February 22nd. Oh, and here's the final, or not Anthem. February 4th. Here's Apex. February 22nd. Here's Anthem. And it's like, but why would you do that? Because the thing is, okay, Apex having its huge
Blow up right now. It's
success right now.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's huge blow up. It's everywhere. I think everybody's playing it now. Um, it's doing so good. It's a free to play game. Graphics are like really good. I think for a free game, really
Graphics are
good,
fucking phenomenal. Like
phenomenal for.
I would have honestly paid for Apex. Like I bought Call of Duty. I would refund that shit. I've only played multiplayer like twice. It's fucking ass. I played Zombies a couple times, Blackout a couple times. But like I think every game I've bought since I built my brand new computer like a month ago,
Just regret. So much regret.
not regret. Like Rainbow Six was the only one I don't hate, and that game was like $20.
Well,
Like
now
it
it's
feels like any
now
game
it's
I've
20
spent like paid
bucks.
full price on has just been like no, it was $20 for like the starter edition, which is what I had.
I paid like
But
12 Canadian.
it was like maybe it was 15. I don't remember, but like I paid like nothing for it. And that's like my favorite game until Anthem came out. It was like every game that I paid for has just been ass. It was like so ass.
Yeah.
And the graphics haven't even been like amazing. I feel like Call of Duty like has not changed at all to me other than like the map. That just looks it's just a new map. Like the graphics to me still look the same. Maybe it's just me, but like nothing with Call of Duty really amazes me anymore. None of the games I've really been playing have really amazed me anymore. But I feel like for a free game, this actually looks really good. It plays really good. There's some issues still, like bugginess, getting
Well,
disconnected, and random shit. But
just released like not
the
even two
fact that
days
it,
ago.
yeah, the fact that it's buggy, and I will happily log my ass back on to play another.
Every
Just go ahead and
single
just tell
round.
you, and then, yeah, every fucking round to tell you that it's fun enough that I can feel that shit. So
uh,
it's definitely I don't know. I think they might have released it though just because of how bad the Anthem demos were. They had back-to-back demos and they weren't great. Granted, the second one was a lot better. I was actually able to play the game the second time, but
I never did play Anthem. It looks really good.
you
I've
gotta
seen
get it,
some
dude. It's so
videos.
fun.
Well,
Some of the movies are weird, but it's
A-
really fun.
Alex says I have a birthday present coming. I'm still waiting for it. But I'm not gonna count on it. But I don't know. Like yeah, like Apex is like really good. But what I don't like, what I'm trying to figure out is why they're doing that. Because like the thing is, I have three theories. Okay, I think three things could happen when Anthem finally releases. Okay, one is that nobody buys Anthem.
Hmm.
It's just not going to happen. Um, or maybe people have already. I think there was like it's already been for sale, hasn't it? Like a pre-purchase or
Yeah,
something.
it's definitely
Okay,
pre-orderable. I mean,
so
Alex pre-ordered it, right?
okay, so then I'm going to change the wordings of the first one. So I'm going to say the first one is nobody plays Anthem. I think the second thing that could happen is people will play Anthem, but then they'll go back to Apex. Or the third thing that could happen is everybody plays Anthem and Apex dies.
I don't think those are necessarily all the options.
I think like that's
Um,
kind of my thoughts as to what could happen with the whole thing. I mean, I know that they're two different genres,
yeah,
but they're both like really big games that kind of do target the same audience.
they don't. I don't think they do at all.
Well, I mean, I I don't know. Like I haven't played Apex a whole lot, but I did watch some videos. Actually, I didn't play Apex at all. I played it for like 3 minutes, and I walked around the city at the very start of the first demo they had. But no, honestly, like I think like the kind of person that would play Apex, or the kind of person that would play Anthem, is gonna play Apex, and the
I
kind
don't
of
think so.
you don't think so?
No, because for one, I think what they were trying to do, in my opinion, this might have been what they were trying to do, is they had a lot of negative backlash coming off of the demos. A lot of people were already really upset with EA, especially with Mass Effect 3. People were like, oh, they can't produce a good game. Like, what? They're
Yeah.
having issues with this demo. Like, I'm going to refund my pre-order, or if I was going to pre-order, I'm just not going to pre-order it now, which is what I think was either happening or what they were scared of happening.
Hmm.
So they had a game ready, kind of ready to go, really fucking good game, compete with Fortnite. Going to give EA kind of more of a pedestal compared to what they were on,
Hmm.
of actually showing like we can produce a good product.
Yeah.
So I figured, that, oh, let's put it out now. It's going to make us look better. It's going to put our name out there a little bit more, and it's also a shooter game, but the games are very different. A battle royale compared to a game that's based off of almost essentially like Destiny, are
Yeah.
two very different games. One of them is just about pretty much redoing missions, loot drops, upgrading your character. What are you doing with your eyebrows? Um, like aesthetics and shit like that. Where Apex is honestly essentially like an arcade game. You just pick the same character, jump out there, shoot shit, die, do it all fucking again. It's just over and over and over again, like very easy. First person shooter, graphics are way different, gameplay is a lot different. You don't fucking the only real similarity is there's a gun, and when you jump out of the thing at the beginning, you fly just like you would fly in Apex or fly in Anthem towards the ground. The
Yeah.
actual gameplay is very different. The storyline and everything's very
Well,
different. I don't think the same players are going to play them, mostly because I know for me, I know I have coworkers who play the game, and I have a younger cousin who played the shit out of Fortnite but loves Apex now. He's not playing Anthem. Anthem is definitely more for people who want like kind of a more complicated game.
like story.
Not even
Well,
story and just more
story. Yeah.
complicated fighting
More
mechanics,
more to it, I guess you could say.
more to it, more depth. Where
Yeah.
Apex is almost like the best comparison I can think of is like fast food. You turn it on, you get what you want right then and there. You do it for a couple minutes and that's it. You know what
Well,
I mean? You're in a match at most in Apex, like a super long match is like 20 minutes. You're gonna sit there and play Anthem. If you sit down and play Anthem, you'll probably be there for like an hour because you got to do like the fucking missions and like the sieges or the dungeons, whatever the fuck they call them in that game.
I don't
Like
know.
a lot of that shit takes time, and it's all scaling difficulties, like finding new loot. It's a way different game. So I think what their idea might have been is just like put this shit out there. Hopefully it sticks. Hopefully it blows us up because it's a good game.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh shit, they were able to produce this game and they got it right on launch. Maybe all the issues we saw coming out of the Anthem demo was just because it's a demo. If it's anything, the quality is anywhere near what this game is right now,
Yeah.
then we'll probably have a good time playing this as well. Let's go ahead and buy it then.
So you think it was like a saving face kind of thing?
I think that's exactly what it was. And I don't think necessarily Anthem's not going to do well. There's a lot of hype still surrounding that game as it is.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are looking forward to it. I know a lot of people are looking forward to using it as like a next step until the next Destiny comes out, as like a kind of like a something to do to buy time to the next Destiny because it's a very similar game,
Crack
but it's
fix.
different enough to go ahead and like get lost in that game for a little bit until the next Destiny games come out,
Yeah.
which would be good for them. I think people who are playing Fortnite were already kind of looking for something new to do. So those people have Apex now. People who are kind of over Destiny have Anthem to just kind of satiate onto their next fixation almost. So I think everyone kind of has like their way to go forward. I don't think by any means either game's going to kill each other. Um, if I'm being honest, though, I wouldn't be surprised if in a month from now Apex was still the more popular game, even
I
after the release of Anthem. If any, only thing because one, battle royales are everything right now.
yeah.
Like that's for one, that's to be like that's like the hottest thing that's like pop culture right now, like battle royale, battle royale. And two, it's free. You're always gonna have people who don't want to pay the money for a $60 game, so that's always gonna be, oh shit, this is free. It's by the same people. I'll just play this anyways.
Well, see, that was kind of see that's kind of one thing that I was thinking about too. Is that like I think one thing that could take away from Anthem. I still kind of think that like a lot, or if not like the major same amount of like same people playing both that would same kind of people would play both games. But well, the ones that can afford Anthem, anyways. I mean, not the kids that are going from Fortnite or like you
Mhm.
said, your little cousin there, whatever. Um, I mean, if you sit there and like you're trying to decide on a game, like say you've never played Anthem or Apex, right?
Mhm.
And all your buddies are like, yo, come play this game. I mean, when you're trying to choose, you're gonna go with Anthem, the game that's costing you $60 to play, or you're gonna go with Apex, the game that's free.
We'll see, but I feel like your own argument kind of doesn't make sense because if all your buddies are telling you to play this game, they're not going to be telling you to play both.
Well,
And if they
yeah,
are,
but
you're probably going
exactly.
to want to play both of them anyway, so you'll probably end up paying the $60 to do it anyways. Because
I
if you're
mean,
playing with your buddies, let's be realistic, you're old enough to be able to afford a $60 game more than likely. Even
uh,
kids in high school can afford a $60 game if not ask their parents.
well, not really, because the thing, like, crazy, like, oddly enough, I find it really strange. But like, when I go pick up my kid at school, elementary school, okay, I kid you not, I'm like waiting outside, I wait outside at the doors, and the kids pour out, and kid you not, every single day, the kids come out, and all they're talking about is Fortnite, still. So
Yeah,
they're playing together.
no, but see, but that's my point though. Anthem's not like a kid game. One and two, like I mentioned before, like you're in high school. Like Anthem's more of like a thinking game where you have to like it's not like
It's not
fucking
a
you
brainless
drop
game.
down, sit there, shoot shit, run around in a circle. Like the most complicated thing in Apex is don't get caught, don't get killed, and don't get caught outside the circle. That's all you need to know what to do. You know what I mean? Whereas Anthem, it's a lot more depth to it. There's a lot more thinking involved. There's a lot more stats in the game. It's actually all about stats and like making the highest stats, picking the right shit. You're not
Stats.
going to find that in Apex. So for one, the kids aren't even the market for that, which is a lot of what Fortnite has going for right now is the kids. Kids fucking love that game.
Well,
Because
I
even
don't
looking
know.
at like me, you, like think of all of our friends in our age group and our friends. None of us
Hmm.
play fucking Fortnite.
Fuck Fortnite.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's definitely more of like a.
Kids
I know
game.
some people
Yeah.
like a couple of kids in college who play it, but it's mostly like a younger high school to like younger game.
Oh, I
Where
don't.
I feel like Apex is going to be more of like a high school and older game, which that for me the main demographics I feel like are very different. I feel like Fortnite is definitely always catering to the kids in the fact of like
Cartoon.
Fortnite, for example, in this thing, cartoons, the music, the dances, all the stupid fucking outfits. It's definitely all made for kids, things kids want to see. So, do I see Apex kind of ripping some of that in the future? Probably. I could see it a little bit. I don't think it's going to go as in depth just based off the fact of how the animation and everything looks now. It would look weird.
Yeah.
But I can see them doing a couple cartoonish like skin and shit like that to get some of the kids over. But I still feel like it's a very different demographic they're trying to rip because they're trying to rip Fortnite's demographic, which is mostly kids.
Hmm.
And a lot of people who play Destiny, I can tell you right now, aren't fucking kids that are
No.
playing that game. And that's exactly what Anthem's designed for, is to rip Destiny's gameplay. So I feel like there are going to be a lot of people who get caught awkwardly in the middle where they're like, oh, but I'm playing this and now I got to pay $60 to play this one. But I
But
feel
you.
like a lot of people who paid the money already to play the game that was exactly like it, Destiny,
Hmm.
are going to have the $60 to spend on Anthem, regardless. So
That's fair.
I don't think it's really going to cut any of their profits necessarily in that sense.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the people who can't really afford it are the kids, and the main people they're trying to pull are the Destiny ones who more than likely bought the game and then more than likely bought the DLC for Destiny
Yeah.
if you're really that into it. And at that point, $60 for a complete game that's going to be giving you, if I remember correctly, free DLCs for the entire life of the game. That's a
What?
steal for them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Anthem announced they're doing free DLC.
Shit. So it's just updates. It's not really DLC. It's
Yeah,
regular.
so
Huh.
at that point, it's like, oh shit, $60, you're getting a lot for it compared to what my buck has been going before this.
Shit.
So I don't think that's really going to stop them at all whatsoever when it comes to actual making money on Anthem. with this game out right now. I like I said, I don't think it's necessarily going to be anywhere near as popular. I think Apex is going to keep blowing up, and I can tell you in a month from now, I'm going to play Anthem. I'm just going to have its moments when like I want to play with you if you have it, play
Hmm.
with Alex, go do that shit. There's definitely going to be moments where the three of us probably want to fucking go shoot around and do dumb shit in Apex. Like, there's always going to be a need for one, a need for the other. So one times I want to play something serious, and there's going to be times where I just want to play a robot, zip line around until I get shot, and then complain about how no one fucking saved me. Like everything has its own niche. Even for me, I feel like conflicted, like not knowing which one to play. I would want both.
Fair enough. No, that does make sense. That does make sense. I, I I guess they're not shooting themselves as hard in the foot, but
You know,
like I still think there will be some conflicting interests, I guess you could say.
there will be. I just don't think you can take
But
it as far as saying one's gonna kill the other one. I don't think neither one of them is gonna kill the other one. I think one of them might kill Destiny, or one of them might kill Fortnite, or even vice versa. Maybe Anthem comes out, it's not that great. Everyone goes back to playing Destiny. Anthem just goes out. You know what I mean? Or even Fortnite comes out with some crazy new update. Everyone runs back to Fortnite. Apex dies. Like you can make like a scenario for that shit with everything if you really think hard enough about it.
yeah,
So I don't think they're really shooting themselves in the foot. I think they're at this point they're really just trying to make some hype around a game they invested a lot of time in by putting out another game they invested a lot of time in and just showing kind of the quality of work that they can do that no one really thought at this point they could do. Let's be real, to EA. So
makes sense. I got one more thing I want to talk about. We're already at an hour though.
you can talk about it really quick, and then we we
I'm
got.
getting harassed. Yeah, I don't think we can really stretch the shit out of this. And actually, I'm sure we could, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. So there was an article I think Ashley found it, but I may be wrong.
Shout
Um,
out to Ashley,
Shout
our
out to Ash,
intern.
her intern. We ain't paying your shit. Uh, it was the Windows 10 Gaming Edition. But after looking into it, I realized that it's not at all an article, but more. Well, I mean, technically, yeah, it's an article, but it's not. It's not news so much as just a collection of suggestions.
Hmm.
Um, Windows 10 Gaming Edition. So the idea actually came. Somebody posted a topic in, I think it was the Xbox forums, Microsoft's Xbox forums, and it was actually asking for a gamer's edition of Windows 10, which I think is actually a pretty cool idea. There's no news on. There's actually a lot of like fake versions of Windows that you can like buy, with probably like virus ridden or virus covered bullshit, or
Hmm.
just total fraud scam in general. But I mean, I think the idea is actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Um, some of the ideas that people had, some of the more popular ideas, I should say, that people had, was a minimalist GUI or GUI. So like a simplified start menu, kind of like what they're actually doing for the, what do they call it? Windows 10 Lite. Have you heard about that?
Hmm. GUI is like graphics user interface.
Yeah, graphical user interface. So it's like your start menu and your task manager and blah blah blah, or your task bar. I mean, they want like a very minimized one because graphics GUIs actually, they eat some RAM, right? So
Yeah,
they
and
said
it's always running too.
what?
Like Windows Defender and shit's always
Oh
running in the
yeah.
background.
See, that was another thing people were saying for Windows Defender, instead of making it like constantly scanning, because like Windows Defender sits there and constantly scans, right? I mean, there is a way to turn it off, but they were saying like natively it doesn't sit there and scan your shit all the time.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, as long as you're smart, you can usually get away without needing that,
Yeah.
right? But the minimalist GUI, that's a good idea in my books. Less RAM usage from Windows, please. They need to actually figure out how to do that with Windows Chrome. That'd be a good idea. Another idea that a lot of people were saying was advanced hardware monitoring and better control of hardware. Things like fan speed and shit like that. Like you were saying, how you had to like adjust your fan
My
curves and
fan
everything.
curve. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like right now you got to go get a third-party software. But people were saying like, let's get something native to Windows. That way, it's more than likely more lightweight.
Hmm.
But I mean, like also like a native like temp sensor or temp hardware. or
That'd be
temp
nice.
temp software. I mean, something built in. I mean, that'd be really nice.
I feel like not even for gamers. That'd just be nice in general.
Yeah.
Honestly,
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, for a, I think game. Well, no. See, I mean, gamers are kind of like the main people because who really sits there and watches their temps other than overclocking gamers?
a lot of people with laptops.
Well,
Mostly because,
that's
mostly
true.
because I
Thermal.
know at least for me, like in college, I know a lot of people in college actually fucking thermal throttled their laptops because they would be sitting in bed, they would have their laptop on their blanket,
Well, that's why they
the,
always say
the
don't
blanket would
fucking do
slightly
that.
cover it. They say not to do a lot of shit, but people fucking do it anyways.
Yeah, and look what happens. And you got to get
And
native
look, but that's
hardware.
my point. So like for dumbass people, it would be nice for them to have something to just go ahead and be like, oh, I have this running right now. It's gonna tell me my temperature, like blah blah blah. Which it's a simple fix of just don't fucking do that.
But
But
people are
even for
dumb.
people who don't have like the Windows 10 edition, it'd just be nice to have. And maybe there's like for me, my work computer right now, I was curious to see what my temperature was running at. I bought a new computer for my job.
Oh yeah.
Just wanted to see what my computer was running at. I had to download a third-party software just to find out. It would have been nice just to. If I was curious, I should just be able to fucking go to like control panel or something, go to my settings, just click on something, open it up, and it tells me, oh,
Oh, absolutely,
this is it.
absolutely.
Because I mean, the information's on your computer anyways. The information's there. They just need to create something that allows you to see it.
Exactly. It just has to have a part of Windows, a software in Windows that can address those sensors. That's it.
So I
But
mean, I feel like it doesn't even necessarily, that one doesn't even necessarily have to be gaming. The fan curve and all that shit, 100%. I don't think you're gonna need to fuck with your fan curve if you're running a non-overclocked fucking CPU or graphics card.
well, I mean, even still, then people like to, not necessarily overclock. Like my GPU is not overclocked. Actually, no. It's from factory. It's literally maxed out. I cannot overclock it anymore because it becomes super unstable.
Yeah,
Even with adjusting voltage. But I mean, like, I remember before I even started overclocking, like, I used to actually still adjust my fan curve so that, like, I was
the
keeping this.
noise.
No, not the noise. I mean, actually, yeah, there's people who care about the noise too. Some people like silent, right? But like some people who sit there and they want to have their fans ramp up a little bit earlier in temperature. That way, they can still kind of keep some performance by keeping the temperatures down a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
Instead of like hitting 100% fan speed at like say 85 Celsius, having it so that it hits 100% at say 45 or 55. You know, like just hitting 100 a little bit earlier in the curve.
yeah, but that also kind of features my point of that's more of like a gamers only thing where it would fit on the gamers window edition. Because if you have like a factory
Yeah,
like if you
okay.
just have like a straight Best Buy bought fucking computer, you're not trying to squeeze the most performance out of it. Most people run the fucking power settings anyways and aren't even getting anywhere near their main performance. We had that conversation the other day. Like where I was telling you that my work computer was running slow as shit, even though I had an i7 in it. I couldn't figure out what the problem was, and then I realized the power saving was on.
Oh my god, that shit is evil
And
though.
I was like, what the fuck? So like that, a lot
That's
of people
true.
won't even
Okay.
realize that. So I feel like that's not something you're going to use unless you are an enthusiast, and at that point, you're probably going to have like the gamers edition because you have that high end build where you're trying to run. Even if you're not a gamer, but you want a computer that's running as
Well,
efficiently as possible, then you're probably going to want that gamers edition because there's less shit running in the background overall.
exactly. That was another thing that people recommended was cutting down on processes or having the processes go to like a sleep or like a suspension mode when
Yeah.
games are running, like prioritizing games or like full screen applications.
Hmm.
Um, which I think is a really good idea. I think that should be pretty standard right now as it is. Like if you're running a game in full screen mode, you
Hmm.
know, having what do they call that? That indexing. Have you ever had that notice that shit where like your computer just starts indexing folders and files? I mean, it doesn't say that it's folders and files, but it's like indexing or Cortana. Like
Fucking hate Cortana.
who the fuck is sitting there playing a video game and be like Cortana, tell me about Taiwan. You know, like nobody's doing that. So
I'm gonna be honest. If Cortana was a piece of shit, that could be cool. Because if you're playing games, you're like Cortana, like what's the fastest way to like get from this part of the map to this part of the map? Or like
popping up on your
Cortana, like
second
where's the
screen.
best? Like if you're playing Apex, Cortana, where's the best place to drop as you're playing? And she just immediately tells you like, this place has the highest loot tier, and then you just fucking go. Like if Cortana was an ass, that could be super fucking cool for gaming. Something like that, where you're playing it. You don't even have to like open up a window or even look at your second monitor. You just straight ask a question, get an immediate answer like Alexa.
Run the
That'd
last
be
comment.
dope.
Sorry, I'm getting scolded.
That's okay. You want to go ahead and wrap it up so we can go?
I just wanted to talk about the last suggestion was a kind of like a dual booting option. So the ability to either when you turn on your computer to either boot into a gaming mode or just standard Windows.
Windows. That'd be dope.
See, that would be good. I don't know if I would say including it in. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess they could ship that as like Windows 10 gaming mode and having that as another option. Because I mean, I don't think you'd need to do a separate install of Windows to achieve that. I think it's
Mhm.
just like it's like
Just leave a couple things off.
it's almost like selective startup. You ever
Yeah.
tinkered with that? Selective startup. It's essentially it would kind of be like that. Like you can have it sitting there in normal mode where it loads up all drivers, all services, all processes, or you can have it in gaming mode where it's very selective processes, services, and what have you.
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't know if it would need a restart to. I would say not hardware restart, but definitely restarting Windows.
Mhm.
Maybe not so much the kernel, but restarting Windows in general, the operating system, and having that reset into whatever mode you're trying to go into. That would be, I think that'd be a really good idea.
I think they could even sell that for like a couple bucks more. I wouldn't say more than like 10 or 25 bucks more
Well, in
because you're
all,
getting an extra product for it too. Because you're getting a simplified version in the gaming mode, but you're also getting a full operating system if you ever want to run it on there too. You're getting the whole Windows. You're getting more than anyone else would straight out the gate with a normal Windows purchase. You know
hmm
what I mean? So I could see maybe selling it for like 15, 20 bucks more, nothing exorbitant where like you're fucking putting a tax on it.
well,
But but
uh,
I could, for one, a lot of people don't pay for Windows to begin with.
it's true.
Those who do, I don't think would have necessarily a big issue of shelling out like an extra $15 for a more simplified version for gaming. And I feel like that could at least make them some kind of an extra profit for a pretty something that should be pretty simple for them to create realistically.
I can't see them selling it for the same price. I can't see them selling it for only, $15, $20 more. Canadian anyways. But
You
I
think
think
they would sell it for more?
I think they would sell it for close to the same price as Windows Pro. Windows 10 Pro. I can see them matching it.
Hmm,
Just
maybe.
because it's a deluxe version of Windows.
Hmm.
It's more than just regular standard Windows, right? So I think they would probably like price match it with Windows Pro. But that's just my
Maybe.
thoughts.
I don't know if I would pay that much extra for it.
No, I don't. I can't see me doing the. If anything, like one thing I was actually contemplating was installing Windows Lite, trying that out, dual booting like Windows Lite when they release
Hmm.
that, just to see how it is, because I feel like that would work really well. Because it is minimalist GUI and processes and yada yada yada. I don't know who
Hmm.
they're. I don't. I think they're just targeting kind of slower machines, but I think gamers are going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, that could be good.
I would probably end up dual booting it, or maybe I'll just run it 100% all the time.
Hmm.
hmm
I don't think I would use it. I don't think I would even bother looking into it unless you told me it was good. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Are you kidding me? You got the hardware well enough that you don't even need to bother with it. Using up like
Yeah,
3% of everything by having Windows with like 400 windows open. Fuck
it's true.
off.
Doing this right now, I'm at 4%
You're
load on
kidding.
my CPU.
Well, all you're doing is talking on Skype. I'm sitting here streaming and recording to upload to
I
YouTube and
mean, yeah, but I'm also
connect.
watching Twitch. I'm downloading the new Battlefield update that we went over earlier.
Uh,
While we were streaming, I just downloaded the pre-download for Anthem. Shout out to Anthem. Just downloaded the pre-download for Anthem, so I'm ready to go the day it comes out.
oh man, it's gonna update again on release date.
So that's
14,
fine.
14, 1400, 14 terabytes update.
14 terabytes. What the fuck?
Just kidding. I have no idea how big that game is. So. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this stream.
It does.
You
I'm
seem tired.
tired.
Yeah, you seem very tired.
Gotta go to work in the morning.
Yeah, not me.
All right. Well, thank you for everyone who tuned in.
If they're still
We
here, but I
appreciate
don't
it.
think so.
Yep.
Thank you
We'll
for tuning
be
in.
back on our new days, streaming every 9:30 at Wednesday.
On New
Look
York
forward.
time,
New
Central
York
is
time,
8:30.
East Coast time, U.S. So thank you for everyone for tuning in. We got our social media online now, I believe, right, Chaco? If you want to go ahead and follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm gonna have to still put up those links. I haven't put up those names yet because I think there's slight variations due to everyone being like, "I want to call myself polar opposites," even though they're fucking idiots.
Oh my God.
But
All right.
Instagram's gonna go up very soon. Twitter is up and Facebook page is up, but nothing's been posted yet to anything. So we'll get on
Okay.
it. We're still early, still fresh.
All right. Sounds simple.
All
All
right,
right. So
boys.
we'll have all that ready for you guys by next Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in. Catch everybody next week.
Hope y'all have a good night. Cheers.
Yep. See ya.